Good afternoon. This is Jonas Brasco, and this is Up the Fulham. We're a little bit different today. I don't have my usual green screen, though I'm about to fix that. It's a little bit weird when I don't have it going, but you can see all my Fulham memorabilia behind me. We're about 30 something minutes away from kickoff, and I am still regrettably putting lineups in. So that's why you don't see the Fulham side yet. So if you give me just a few minutes to get everything set up, this is more or less a mic check, 1 2 1 2, just to make sure everything is up and going. So that's why you don't see the Fulham side yet. So if you give me just a few minutes to get everything set up, this is more or less a mic check, 1 2 1 2, just to make sure everything is up and going. All right, because I don't have the fancy lights or anything going yet, even though we are getting there. So let me just step away for a second. Because the other thing is that I need to close my door. And naturally, you're seeing how the magic is made. So let me close my door, turn off my light, and we'll get ready to get this started. Okay, they're saying reconnection successful at least to OBS. Okay, they're saying reconnection successful at least to OBS. Let me see if it pops me back in. Okay, they're saying reconnection successful at least to OBS. Let me see. Because we may be having some network difficulties, not so much. Okay, looks like it has relogged me back in. I don't know what. Okay. So we did have a little bit of an issue there, but that seems to be resolved. So, with that being said, let us get into this. As always, this you are not actually seeing any of the game here. I will not actually be streaming any of the actual live match. What this is a live reaction and watch along. So, as always, sync yourself with mine. No scores will be posted, and I would definitely appreciate no spoilers. But the countdown is on from Craven Cottage. And just for those who do not know, we're going to pop all this on the screen. And this will be pinned at the top. And just like, oh, Forrest struck early. Forrest was struck in early. Luckily, Harry Wilson trying to get something happening. We definitely need Fulham definitely needs a positive opening. That's I think is an understatement. I don't think anyone is going to deny that or hope otherwise. Uh, I'm still not happy with Kevin starting, but we, you know, oh, please stand by. We have our first VAR. We're looking, looks like Adoy. It comes off the, I want to say it comes off the elbow. Yeah, check complete. Yeah, check complete. That would have been very, even as a Fulham fan, that would have been very unfortunate for Force, and I wouldn't have even called a penalty on that. Hudson Adoy gets it in center. Jesus tried a shot. Kevin gets to it, but Kevin has the ball taken away. Fulham is able to get some get something back. Because it's a Monday, there is not really a lot of scores going on. Yeah, give me a second. I will definitely put this Fulham lineup in because there's not much there. Luckily, there's not much of too much of a change from. And believe me, once I get that lineup up, it will make things go a lot quicker. And right now, and Fulham has been. It's sad to say this, but Fulham has been struggling at home, and we're coming off of two away wins. Well, not the EFL Cup game um, against those. Why am I not saying their name right? Newcastle. We're gonna pretend like the Newcastle game did not happen, but it did. Yeah, that's one thing that they're making a standard. That Force has not had to play in like 10 days because of their European fixtures. So it's gonna be. Let me hit the play button because I think I put some people in wrong. Yeah, I have Harry Wilson in there twice. Apologies. But Fulham does have Fulham with the ball. It's not. It's been nice to see Anthony Robinson back in the lineup, even though I'm not a. I didn't want him to come back too early, but it is. But I'm still not going to deny that he's a welcome addition. So Anthony Robinson into the box, but there's No one there to really get to it. Tete tried, but not what I needed. Not what I needed to see. And subs are in as well. If we need to, well, we'll go with the line. We'll go with the sub lineup later. And just to show them off, we have Lacombe, Reed, Tom Carney, Traore, and pretty much the same bench that was in the cup match against Newcastle, with the only difference being that our goalkeeper Lacombe is on the bench versus subbing. Robinson not thrilled with that call, and just and as you see, this is Nottingham Forest's bench, which I'd be lying if I said I know a lot about. I do not, but I do know that compared to Fulham, and I can go ahead and say this: don't blame Afcon Cup of Nations. Fulham's lost three players with Bassi, Awobi, and Chukwueze, versus Force only losing two players. And Igor with the shot doesn't really go anywhere. And we're just seeing now. Yeah, there's Cuenca, I believe, honestly had it, but Igor Jesus only one goal this season in the Premier League, but has seven in all competitions. Kevin trying to no, Kevin was trying to take on two people, was not happening. Misses the slide. Forrest is able to get out of danger. But Fulham's fighting, and it's gonna go out to Fulham. Anthony Robinson successfully gets the throw in. Smith Rowe's able to get it to Harry Wilson. Tete's behind. Saw saw Jimenez in the box, but was nothing happening there. And of course, Harry Wilson having almost a renaissance as far as the last few games, but not not in the cup. In Wolves 2-1 loss, it went to okay kick to the back. Leno had to deal with that. Kalinka, nope, error. Jesus takes the deflection. Man, this is like both teams at the bottom, near the bottom of the table. Forest can actually go ahead of Fulham with a win here. Anderson slid in. He's wearing the armband again. This is the only game on the docket, and Fulham does not get a Boxing Day game this year. They will. Sorry, that saddens me. That saddens me greatly. But their next, but yes, they get West Ham on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. My time. But with the way things are going, Forest is at 17th, Fulham is at 15th. Fulham is 21, Forest 19. With a win, Fulham can go as high as 10th. That would be tied with Everton and going as long as they score at least 2 goals. Because Everton currently has a -2 goal differential, Fulham has a -3. Actually, Fulham can do it if they have a -2. They win based off of Fulham has scored more goals than Everton overall. Everton has 18 goals on the season, while Fulham has 23. However, Everton's only given up 20 goals compared to Fulham's 26. Kevin looks like he had his head stepped on just a little bit. And of course, anyone feel free to chat. But mm, and right now it's a water. I mean, while Kevin's down and Kevin's been down for a while, there people are taking a water break. Again, it looked like he got his head stepped on. So I mean, I did not want Kevin starting the game, yes, but not like this. And he is still down. Anderson and Kowenka. I mean, if nothing else, his head. Oh, okay, they're doing a concussion check right now. That's how. I don't think they're going to show a replay of this anytime soon, but definitely here's hoping. In the meantime, they have Traore and Josh King are warming up, so we will definitely see what happens there. So let's go ahead and just say right now, probably with this prolonged, expect there easily to be 3, 4, 5 minutes, between 3 to 5 minutes of stoppage time. And of course, Kevin has to come off the pitch. He is up and he's moving, so that's always good. But for those who are hopping in, this is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham. We are currently in the 15th minute. Feel free to sync with us. We are um, here in the United States. This is on USA Network. So if you're wondering why this is not on Peacock or any of the main broadcast stations, this is it. But it's hard to say who I would say has the advantage of this game so far because both teams have had their chances. Forest definitely more in like the last 10 minutes compared to when Fulham came out and just kind of really kind of started going. Yeah, 64% possession for Fulham. However, that's Forest has 3 shots. Fulham no shots, and that's why. And neither has had a shot on goal, but that's why I'm not right now jumping and being like, this is either a pro Fulham game or another another almost unforced error. Kevin got to it. Kevin has a break. Wilson on the outside. Kevin, and just a really, really poor attempt at goal, just goes straight into the line. Anderson gets it back into the box. Kevin tries to go for a header. Nothing happening there. Wilson is able to collect it, and they're going to reset. The crowd's trying to get them into this, but there's nothing. There's nothing to get into. There's also some booze. Cuenca tried to get it. Wilson, nothing. And Forrest just sticks it out. Forrest did a good job. Just they had 6 people in the box outside, and it's gonna be a foul on Cuenca. It was a professional foul. He's gonna get a yellow. He should get a yellow card for that. Oh wow! And even yeah, Asus. Even the commentary is like Kevin. The touch is letting him down. He has no one's saying he doesn't have speed. He can't control the ball. Okay, let's not keep saying club record signing. That just makes everything sound worse. Force with into the box, and luckily it's going to go out for a goal kick for Fulham. The chat is up, by the way. It's just you may not be able to see it on the screen, but this has just been a. And one thing that they're mentioning is that Force has not won at Craven Cottage since their return to the Premier League. However, one thing that is we're not expecting is that neither team in their last 14 matches have had a draw. So don't expect a draw in this one. Either someone's going to score. And again, Fulham just they're scrappy. I don't mind a scrappy game. I'm fine with a scrappy game, but I do want some control. And just like that, Robinson can't get to the ball, and it goes out for a force throw in. All right, hitting the 20th minute, still no score. Okay, and they're talking with force stability, but force is not. At 19 points, force is not necessarily in a bad position. Like table wise, they are still on. They're still up. They are literally like 8 points, 8 points up on West Ham, which is where. Sorry, 6 points up on West Ham, which that's who they are above the table. But I think they should still Force should still feel good because it's that goal differential. Force is given up has a -8, while West Ham is double at -16. But yes, Fulham getting that win at Turf Moor definitely has helped their confidence. But it's just getting the wins at home. That's what's Into the box, Leno gets to it as it looked like, yeah, Louise was sliding. Louise was sliding, and it was just a second sooner. And it literally was just really, really quick. Leno got to it before Louise could get to it. And that's the only reason this is not 1-0 Forest. Robinson's able to get it to Kevin. Kevin tries to get off Jimenez. Kevin was able to get the ball back. Back out to Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson going into the box. Way too many people. There was like 4 Forest players. Sasha Lukic was fighting for it. Lukic was the goal scorer in the Newcastle game. And wow, a swing and a miss from Forrest that's going to allow Fulham to have a throw. Or I thought was going to be a throw. I got to send it back to. Forrest is just going to slow it down. And for Fulham, a draw would definitely be a really good missed opportunity, especially going into the West Ham game. Like this game in West Ham, this should ease. I'm not gonna lie. Jimenez tries to shoot long. Murillo was with the deflection. Still, Fulham has not had a shot on goal yet. We're like literally 23 minutes in. Little boot to Wilson. Wilson can't get to it, and it goes all the way back to Leno. Again, for all those who are watching, I really do appreciate it. This is Fulham versus Nottingham Forest at Craven Cottage. This is Up the Fulham with Jonas Brasco. Raul was on the ground. And I think Joachim Anderson broke a finger. I okay. I think if they go back down there, I think he broke a. Got Wilson King in my fantasy. Need Wilson to get some goals and assists. I agree with that. I got Wilson in mind too. I got dropped from first in my league to third, so I definitely need something happening. And yeah, they're showing replay of Wilson trying to go into the box. Way too aggressive. But no, thanks for hopping in at God AEM. Hopefully you're enjoying this match. I definitely need. I subbed out Josh King to give Wilson a chance. I did have Josh King in my lineup, but I'm looking, and yeah, it looks like they're taping his finger, because yeah, I looked at that and like it looked like Anderson literally broke a finger. And so right now Silva's talking to Sasha Lukic. Again, Lukic was the goal scorer in the cup game against Newcastle United, even though Fulham lost that 2-1. Lukic is the only person from Fulham that has scored against Newcastle, as they scored in the first fixture at St. James earlier in the season back in October, which also was a 2-1 loss. But while we're taking us quick, let's show the remaining schedule for the rest of the season. As you see, the fixtures as of late, Fulham with that Much needed win against Burnley, but losses at Crystal Palace. Sorry, losses against Crystal Palace. You saw what happened with the Newcastle game. And then on Saturday, it's going to be Fulham versus West Ham. And yes, you can clearly see now that splint on Anderson's finger. It looks like it was his right hand, middle and index finger that are splinted up right now. But yeah, I could tell instantly once they showed that picture that hand was like that finger was bent. That finger was broken. And I do not care about them talking about Newcastle and Manchester United. Actually, I somewhat care about United only because Bruno Fernandez didn't do crap for my fantasy team. That is all. Senderberger to Kevin. Anthony Robinson. That's who I'm really glad. Robinson is gonna hopefully he's being marked. He's being marked really well, and by Hutchinson, and as a result, Forrest gets the goal ball back once again. And Forrest has caught up on the possession. Fulham has had some shots, but still none technically on goal from either team. So it's not that the goalies haven't had to do anything; they just haven't had to actually save anything. Not only have there not been any shots, there really hasn't, and I'm just going to verify this, but I don't think there's even been any corners in the game either. I'm checking the stats. Yeah, no corners. Fulham actually has an offsides, which I do find kind of interesting. But since this is the only match on the docket and everyone else has played, let's just run down some scores real quick. Since we've mentioned Newcastle so much, they drew Chelsea 2-2. Bournemouth drew. Actually, there were a lot of draws. Bournemouth and Burnley with a 1-1 draw. Brighton Sunderland with a 0-0 draw. Man City did what they had to do and destroyed West Ham 3-0. Brentford over Wolves 2-0. Liverpool, ooh, that game with Liverpool and Tottenham was actually pretty good. Liverpool wins that 2-1. Arsenal barely gets past Everton 1-0. Leeds, this was the thing that surprised me with the destruction of Crystal Palace 4-1. You want to talk about a team that's suffering from AFCON? It is definitely Crystal Palace. And then Villa with a 2-1 win over Man U. Oh no, I'm happy as heck Robinson's getting some minutes. But I'm not gonna act like I don't miss Sessignon out there. I'm hoping that he's back for the Crystal Palace game. I'm not as so much worried for the West Ham game, but I do want. I mean, I heard he's week to week. I hope he is back for the Crystal Palace game. Of course, Rodrigo Muniz, we're not expecting him back till February, so I'm not so worried about that. And since you have me curious, and I'm just checking one thing quick with my fantasy. Mm. Jimenez tried to get to, okay, I've said this several times, and I don't want to have to keep saying this. Kevin is not good enough to be on the pitch right now. I'm like literally send him to the under 23s. Put him on the under 23s, or hopefully in a couple of weeks, he's loaned out, and he's loaned out to League One. Because because as messed up as it sounds, I don't think he can even play in the championship, especially after seeing that the EFL Cup tie against Cambridge earlier in the season. and it was very clear that he does not have the strength, is not aggressive enough, and his movements are easily trackable. Kevin again loses the ball. Little try to go over towards Smith Rowe. It's not there. One thing that became very clear in the Burnley match that Fulham does not have right now is they can't play long ball. Scott Parker had Burnley play long ball, and that's how Burnley Burnley scored. Elliot Anderson corner goes outside the box, but Forrest maintains possession. And then Tete gets to it, but it's still going to be a throw in. And again, for all the people who are watching right now, thanks again. This is Jonas Brasco. Neither team. Okay, I think there's an extra ball on the pitch. They need to get that off. Yes, and it goes. But they try to get back to the tunnel, but ball boy gets to it. Force in the box, but luckily Fulham is somewhat able to get out the danger. But they're still Smith Rowe maintains possession, is scrapping, but no. Force still with possession. They maintain it. Nice slide by Jimenez. No, not Jimenez. Katie Tete. Force with a shot, and it just. Well, the Force fans were happy. Someone got a ball, at least for a short period of time. But we're going into the 34th minute. Still no, still no score. Still no shots. Still no shots on target. Still no corners. This is exactly no corners, no cards, no saves. Like this is a, and it's going to be a foul, and it's of course it's Sasha Lukic. Lukic, we really have to be careful. Free kick by Force, but it goes out. Tete with the throw in. The goal now. The crowd's trying to get Fulham to something, anything. Because again, there's absolutely nothing happened. Kowenka has the ball. No, Kowenka is not gonna dribble. Robinson tries to get it away, but Sasha Lukic back out to Sanderberg. Okay, Kowenka, Sanderberg, neither of them should actually be dribbling. Anderson tries to get it out. Fulham not really having anything to move forward, so instead they're just moving back to their side of the pitch. I think there just has to be some speed during halftime. There's nothing. And they're joking on the table that both these teams are pretty much safe because West Ham is West Ham. But at the same time, West Ham was playing City. Fulham was trying to get long ball free up Harry Wilson. Not much again to really be talked about. Again, Sessignon a few days. Bully and Sangare are both doing duty the Ivory Coast. I'm going to go ahead and give them some love because their match against Mozambique is on Christmas Eve. Smith Road, Kevin. Kevin earned a corner. We're going to actually have a corner. And as far as Nigeria, Nigeria's first match will be tomorrow against Tanzania. But for those who are curious, cross into the box, no one really getting to it. But Anderson maintaining possession, throws it back out to Sasa Lukic. Lukic gets it back out to Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson tries a shot. It's in the box. Jimenez, Tete, nothing. Forces on the break. Hudson Adoy, he gets stopped. Kenny Tete, great job. And for those who are curious on about AFCON, the one thing that I don't think anyone would have expected. No, wait. Anderson into the box. Sasha Lukic. It almost was on goal. He was attempting. It almost looked like a shot on goal. Lukic, he just happened to drag it left. But it wasn't like a real pass. Wilson couldn't touch it because he would have been offside. The keeper may have had it. If he wasn't offside, I think Wilson could have taken that as a pass. I think Wilson could have taken it as a pass. But for those who are curious, Egypt is losing to Zimbabwe 1-0 in the 42nd minute. So far that seems to be the big shocker. Gibbs White, Forrest, Fulham doing a great job. Smith Rowe gets to it. Jimenez, great job keeping the ball, but Forrest gets it back. Hutchinson cuts back. Deflection by Anthony Robinson. Jimenez pushes with the push, gets the ball back. Smith Rowe, Kevin. Smith Rowe again. The Kevin gets it. Oh, I think that's a handball. Trying to find something. But it's going to be a goal kick for Fulham. But as far as the Cup of Nations are concerned, Morocco won their game 2-0 over Comoros. And Tete trying to be aggressive. Fulham maintains possession. And they're going to send it back to Leno. Crowd is not happy about that, but that's just, how it goes. Mali and Zambia drew at 1-1, and South Africa won 2-1 over Angola. Robinson into the box. Jimenez with the header, but still nothing on frame for Fulham. And it's a shame. That easily may have been their best attempt. Well, yeah, he Route just could Jimenez just could not get it on frame. It was a good attempt, but just could not get it on frame. I think you have to have Kevin off in the second half. Fulham with the most shots, 8-6. But again, none of those shots have been on goal. Fulham was trying to be fancy with the pass. Fulham has been pretty good on defense as far as not really letting Forest get anything clean in the box except now. And finally, we're going to have our Forest is going to have their first corner. It was a swing in, and Leno had to get it out of the. That's the thing. Leno had to get it out of the way, not because it was a shot, but because Tete was coming in, and it could have been an own goal opportunity for Forest. So Leno really didn't have much of a choice there. And they just literally said that's because even though it was a cross, it was still curling towards the net, so that's considered the first shot on target for either team. Kevin gets it to Smith Rowe, but there's no one there. And again, Force with the possession. It looks like it's going to be a throw in for Fulham. And I mean, this is sadly, this is what you get. This is a bottom of the table match. But moving on, I mean, Fulham has beaten Forest 5-1 in the Prem, with Forest's only win coming in 2024 with a 3-1 victory at the City Ground. Hudson Odoi and Gibbs White scored, but Tosin was the one who scored for Fulham in that game. Speaking of Odoi into the box, nice slide. And the indicator board is up. We're going to have 5 minutes of stoppage. And for those who have been watching, thank you, by the way. This is, once again, Jonas Braska with Up the Fulham. I mean, I get that this has not been a riveting match. By any means. This has not been a rip-roaring, like, slobber knocker or anything like that. But if you're a Fulham fan, like, okay, this ain't the worst thing. If you're a Forest fan, same thing. But Fulham has, yes, have been really, really struggling at home. Force, again, has never won at Craven Cottage in the Prem. Kevin, he's being marked by two people. Kevin, into the box. Kevin, try to pass it out and falls. Holy crap. Fulham has earned a penalty. Kevin has earned Fulham a penalty. Let's see, because okay, Louise does kick Fulham, does kick Louis Kevin in the box because he's going after Kevin, and then he's going, yeah, he trips him. It's, I mean, he trips him. It's pretty. I mean, he gets the ball, but then he kicks Kevin to prevent him from going after the ball. I like Sessegnon higher up. I think he plays well when he's higher up. So this, mind you, Fulham has not had a penalty given at all this year. This is literally going to be Fulham's first penalty attempt. VAR has accept VAR. I forgot to press the little button. VAR check is good. And now we're like, okay, we're giving Kevin some props because this is it. This is one of the things we needed. Is we needed someone in the box that can be aggressive and possibly draw penalties. Fulham has had three penalties against them. I actually scratched. I think it's actually four, but this is Fulham's first. Oh wow! I don't know why that just happened with the. Okay, I see what's happening. Okay, they're saying Rao has been perfect from the spot. 10 out of 10. Do not make this. And the goalie has a yellow card. He was being warned. He's big. The goalie's big. Jimenez. Oh, John Victor is there. Jimenez stutters. Shot. 1-0. And I forgot to change the colors from the Newcastle game. 11 for 11. And finally, Fulham. Okay, I see what happened there. But finally, Fulham has a penalty. Fulham has drawn a penalty. Yeah, it was a no, it was definitely a multiple stutter. No one is going to deny that. But much needed going into the half. Of course, John Victor now with the yellow card. And the 5 minutes have passed. But one more time, Kevin gets it out to Robinson. Robinson tries to cross into the box, but it goes deflecting. The whistle should be going off. Forrest is just now trying to hold it till halftime. There's no fouls. Back to Leno. And it goes off of Jimenez. And Raul Jimenez, unneeded yellow card. Very, very unneeded yellow card just for messing with the throw. But I really do like Sessignon when he plays up front. Like, I know now that Robinson's back, you can't have Sessignon play up front. But I thought, for what it was worth, I thought Sessignon did a good job in that role because, unlike Anthony Robinson, Sessignon will get into the box, make some attempts. Robinson is not a scorer. Robinson is great as doing assists. Sessignon will actually go in and actually attempt a shot on goal. So for the most part, I like Sessignon higher up, but if Robinson is going to be in there, I'm okay with him being right back. But I do prefer Sessignon up front if Robinson is not in the game. But much, much needed goal. So as things stand in the table, we're just looking at live table at this time. Fulham would be in 13th. Sorry, Fulham would be in 13th just on goal, just because they have a -2 goal differential. I forgot it was a live table, so no, the highest they can get is 11th. They can actually overtake Newcastle if they are able to score two more goals. Because right now, Newcastle is a +1 goal differential. But if Fulham gets to +1, they would go ahead of Newcastle just based off of goals scored. But I want to thank everyone who has been watching so far. We are slowly approaching. We are at halftime. A much needed. It's a penalty. That's the weird thing. It's like it's Fulham. They scored a penalty. That's not something I'm used to. That's not something I'm used to seeing. That's not something that I would expect to see. But Force, if you're a Force fan, you are not out. You are not out of this game by any means. This has not been like a clear dominant performance by Fulham by any means. And it's also very rare to say that Fulham is not leading in fouls. It feels weird saying that because normally I would think that would be the case. But no, Fulham is not. Yeah, Fulham is not. I mean, checking out the stats, fouls, Fulham only has committed. Oh, sorry, that's three fouls. I don't know. My bad. I had it at two, but it is actually three fouls. Why is it not saying that? Yeah, three fouls. But we are going to take a quick breather on this. Again, I want to thank everyone who has been watching so far. The score at this time, 1-0 Fulham with Jimenez. If wow, it's I'm sorry, it still feels weird. It feels so weird. Actually, is it wrong that it still feels so weird that it's like we finally drew a penalty. We finally drew Fulham finally drew a penalty. And it's just so weird to say that. It's just so. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it is so freaking weird. But yeah, we're gonna take a quick breather, and as you see, this is look at that Fulham. Okay, it as you see, it's halftime. I got my son is on me. I'm still technically live, so if you give me a second, I will come out there. It's apologies because as you see, that's just how that ended up. But I will be back in 10 minutes. Thank you once again for everyone who has been watching. This is Jonas Brasco. I will be back. And as you see, the score is 1-0 Fulham with Raul Jimenez scoring a penalty in the 45th minute of, actually the 50th minute, but the 45th minute plus 5 minutes of stoppage. Kevin draws the penalty. Kevin draws Fulham's first penalty. And with that, that is, I can honestly say, that is the best contribution Kevin has done this entire season. And of course, remaining schedule, we will be here on Saturday for West Ham versus Fulham and New Year's. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm going to be available for the New Year's game, but I'm still gonna leave this up here. I will be right back. Countdown is on. I will see you in a little less than 9 minutes. Mic is muted. Apologies. I came back and just like, oh, forgot. My mic is muted. Fulham's having a hard time getting it out. Force has definitely come out the more aggressive, but Fulham is going to get a throw in. But sorry about the mic. Thanks for reminding me. I can hear you now. All right. As you see, we have our subs listed. I'm imagining the way things are happening now, I wouldn't expect any subs before the 65th minute. However, if Force is able to tie this up, I could see it even quicker. And hopefully, with Sessignon being day to day, a few days, we may see him, in a limited role on Saturday. So I guess we'll see because he has not had a chance to play with Anthony Robinson this year. Adoy. Nico Williams with a shot on goal, and that's oh my. I realized something. I think that was the maybe the first actual shot on goal. Like the first like legitimately shot on goal. Mm. And Force gets the ball back. Again, if you're a fan of Fulham, you're always wary of the first 5 minutes of a half and the last 5 minutes of a half. Cross into the box. Dealt with by Sanderberg. But Force maintaining possession. Another cross. Oh! Someone tried to have a moment of magic and it did not happen. He's I think he's also offside, but yeah, Gibbs White definitely tried to be a little too fancy there, but gotta respect the effort. Actually I do not, but still Gibbs White did destroy score in the last match that Fulham lost to Force. The only match that Fulham has lost to Force in the Premier League. And that was Mike is muted. Apologies. At the City Ground. Back and just like, oh, forgot. Again, Forrest has been doing a good job maintaining possession. Hudson Adoy. Tete has done a really good job on Adoy, but Adoy does get it off of Tete, and it is going to be a corner for Forrest. And I am so sorry about that. And I apologize for those who, regardless of what you celebrate, I hope you're having a happy holidays, enjoying the festive season. I have some eggnog with me, with a little bit of Jack Daniels in it. Louise with the corner. It's dealt with. Forrest kicks it back out. What's up for Gibbs White? Gibbs White can't get really to it. Out to Louise. Smith Rowe trying to get it back to Robinson. Robinson's able to boot it away. But only as far back as the last Force defender. Louise into the box. Straight at Leno. Kevin was trying to get it. And it is going to be a foul on Robinson. Oh, okay. We'll see, because that may have been an offside. Savano So they're not going to call the foul because Robinson was already offside. But no, he does like he steps on Robinson's foot. So Savona gets away with what would probably been a yellow card. Louise Fulham trying to do its best with it. And for once again, for everyone who's joining, it's the second half. It is Fulham versus Nottingham Forest. Forest with not. I'm in Jamaica. In Jamaica, we don't drink eggnog. We drink Guinness Punch. Okay, I have to. I'm curious. What? Actually, I'm gonna look it up. I want to see what's in Guinness Punch. Mind you, I'm still watching this game, but I am definitely curious about what is in a Guinness Punch. Harry Wilson tried to get. All right. It's Caribbean. Okay. Creamy, somewhat bitter. Okay, Guinness, condensed milk, cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla extract. Okay, that doesn't actually sound bad. I don't know if I'd use a Guinness, but like a chocolate stout. I think that would be the only difference is that I probably would use a chocolate stout instead of a Guinness stout, but I can completely understand the appeal of that. I can completely understand the appeal of that. I think that would be the only difference is I would probably replace it like with a Young's chocolate stout or maybe like an oatmeal stout. But beyond that, I that actually sounds really good. That sounds really really good. And again, I'm looking at the recipe because the only thing ingredient wise that I've never been a big fan of, but okay, that's it's only an eighth. I can deal with that. An eighth of nutmeg. I'm not the biggest fan of nutmeg. I will usually use more cinnamon instead of nutmeg. That's what I do with my eggnog. Is I don't use nutmeg at all in my eggnog, and instead I will just use cinnamon. And we have a foul. We have a yellow, and that's gonna be on Sanderberg. I mean, it's a professional foul. He was on the break. I mean, one thing that is really really bad about Fulham right now is they are not a quick team. Like you're not gonna get or see breakneck speed from Fulham. So let's just pardon. Let's not even sugarcoat that. Fulham is not a fast team. They're going to basically look for certain moments. No, and I'm sure maybe with your recipe you use more nutmeg compared to you may use more nutmeg compared to other recipes. Like I was just the first recipe that I saw. They used about an eighth of nutmeg and an eighth of cinnamon. But no, I like that. I will. I like that. But Forrest does get the throw, and I do think this is now, if Fulham were to draw this game, it's the same as a loss. It's just points dropped. Silva's on the bench, like wondering what can we do. And the fourth, I mean, he's having words with the fourth. I think you should try it one time and see what you think. No, I definitely will. I have I mean, because the thing is, with the exception of the Guinness, I do have everything for that. You know what? I'll tell you what. If you come back for the Saturday stream for the West Ham game, I will have it. I will have it. I will drink it while doing the game. Cross into the box for Forrest. Tete gets to it. Basically, tells Jesus to get off of him. Great tackle by Tete. Still cross it, and Forrest loses the ball. Great job by King Kenny. And with the exception of the PK, that's probably the man of the match right now. Kenny Tete has just been, it has just been solid in that backfield, and I am so glad he's back. And if nothing else, one thing I love about Kenny Tete is he does not draw cards. Like, if everyone else on the back line, Anderson will get a card every once in a while. Lukic, Sanderberg, well, Sasha Lukic will always get it. Will always get a card. I mean, it's like like now Lukic is kind of almost like replaced. Well, he hasn't placed Bohemia. There's no one who can replace Bohemia as regards to fouls and cards. But the closest we can go. But yes, Saturday I will do the Guinness Punch. But I guess I should ask: is there a type of Guinness that you recommend, like regular Guinness, the extra stout? Because I think those are the only two I have available in my area. If there's like another specialty Guinness, I may have to like drive into the big city and like go to like a Total Wine or something. Like the streams, I appreciate shot. Leno juggles it a little bit, but maintains possession. Gets it out to Tete. Tete, no long ball. Fulham can't do the long ball. Tried to get in the middle of the pitch to Jimenez. Forrest gets it back. Shot on goal. And wow, that was close. Like easily. So far outside the box. Gibbs White. It's a solid shot. Leno does not touch it. Lukic tried to get to it. And again, Forest has definitely been the better team this half. We're not parking the bus, but we just are not making chances. Like outside of that penalty, like haven't heard anything from Jesus. Tried, and it's gonna be a foul. I mean, you just see the frustration from Forrest. It's a run right towards the middle. Tete, yeah, Tete gets there. Hey, Jesus can't do anything again. Tete does not draw fouls. That's the stuff that makes me happy. Tete does not draw fouls. Thank you for the like and the sub. Leno gets a warning. Leno, yeah, we. I mean, I will say this: for the most part, this game has been refed pretty well, and I think it's gonna be. It should be. Look, yeah, I was about to say that should be a throw into Fulham. I think they got Tom Carney going. Okay, they're saying the Guinness extra stout. Okay. But yeah, Kevin has not been advantage for us. Douglas Luiz is he's going. Tete again. Great tackle. The Forest fans are not happy, but again, Tete does not draw fouls. Tete does not get yellow cards. There's a reason when I say he's when he's nicknamed King Kenny, it's that's part of the reason. He just is a great defensive player. And Tete does kick it out. It's going to be a throw, but that should give Fulham some time to make the substitution. All right, and Tom Kearney's coming in for Sandberg, which I am completely fine with that. I got nothing, and I'm to be honest, I'm really glad that they're making this sub. Nothing against Sandberg, but you don't. But one of my biggest things is he can't. He's a great defender, just not one with just holding on to the ball, which possession is going to be a really big thing now. And while Tom Carney is not known for defense, he will get in there when he has to. Mm. Savona, nice with the. I mean, it goes straight to Leno, but just keeping it in for that to happen is what impressive. As far as Force's lineup is concerned, I haven't seen anything in regards to warm ups. Harry Wilson, Tete, Tom Carney. It's a little bit of rust, but again, you need him. He's in there to maintain possession. Tete, Carney, Smith Rowe, Sacha Lukic, and we're just going back a bit. Again, just a nice little spell of possession. Tom Carney, cross into the box, but straight at Forest players. Lukic Causes the errant pass, so now Fulham maintains possession. Back to Leno. And Newcastle, I mean, not Newcastle, sorry, Forest, it's second lowest goal total in the league with only 17 goals. Of course, we all know who's number one. As Wolves are on the quest to become maybe the worst Premier League team ever. Kevin has a shot. Kevin has no. Dad, getting a little loud. Would you try to be a little quieter, please? I'm gonna try. Apologies. Spring break. My boy is on break. That's the stuff that pisses me off. It's either you shoot or you pass. At least if you shoot, there's always the chance you can follow up. Not every shot has to be perfect. Challenge the keeper, get it on frame. You may be able to even get a corner out of it if it goes as a deflection. It's 50-50 possession now. Force is going to do a double change. Just checking out the Fulham bench. Hutchinson into the box. Great job by Anthony Robinson. Gets to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe kicks it back to Anderson. Anderson to Tete. Tete to Harry Wilson. Tete gets bowled over, and there's going to be a foul. And it's going to be a card. Yeah, that's a pretty blatant push. And Marino gets into the book for Forest. Forest calling for a handball there. There is no handball. 71st minute. Craven Cottage is a little less than 30,000. So one thing that definitely happens is you definitely hear words. The Forest fans are upset. They want a foul on Anderson. Fulham with a break. Tom Cody shoots. And I think that's okay. I'm waiting for another angle because I think he saves it. Shot. Yeah, that's a save. That's a goal. I mean, that's a corner. But they're not going to give it. So instead of one change, it's going to be three changes. So we will be making some. Jesus is coming out. Dominguez is coming in for Ruiz. We've thrown for Forrest. It's number 16. And with this Forrest, we'll only have 2 subs left. It's going to be a foul and a free kick for Fulham. I mean, a second goal would be really, really good for Fulham right now. Kevin, nice. Okay, Josh King. I like that. Again, you need some fresh legs. But Gibbs, they're calling for offsides. It's not. No, there we go. There we go. And Wilson is down. That's not good. Last thing I need is Wilson down, but let's see how this happens. And he's going for the ball. Wilson is going for the ball. He doesn't get to it. It is indeed a foul. But I also think Wilson put himself in a very awkward position. And it looks like Traore is getting ready. Again, Fulham has only used 1 substitution so far. My fantasy is definitely going to be hurting. This is not a. Josh King is coming in. And Josh King coming in for Kevin, which I'm actually. And yeah, Harry Wilson tackle knows. Again, I'm not surprised. That was not a great tackle. It was definitely a foul. It was definitely a card. But Josh King coming in for Kevin, I'm completely okay with that. Should have happened earlier. Into the box, headed out by Anderson. Possession still maintained by Forrest. Awanye in the box. Anderson deals with it. Savona, Robinson, and it's going to be a corner for Forrest. Forrest corner. Leno punches it out. Josh King, great boot. Kearney gets to Jimenez, trying to get it back to Wilson. Wilson does get to it, gets it back to Tete. Wilson is okay. He's back on the pitch. 81st minute. And it looks like that's going to be another corner for Lukic. Booted it out. Short corner. Oh, a missed header. Forrest had, and there's some scrap. There's some scrapping. Carney trying to separate. Trying to separate. Kalinka needs to back up. Nothing. You don't need to get rid of. All right, let's see. I think Kalinka's going into the book. He's talking with the captain. And Nicola also. No one put. I mean, I'm not seeing him being pushed. Yeah, yeah, I'm not seeing 7 yellow cards. It's been a while since I've seen a game with 7 yellow cards that wasn't a cup tie. In cup ties, that's pretty common, especially towards the end. But 7 yellow cards in just a regular Premier League game is a rarity. And I'm talking 7 yellow cards with no reds. Josh King. King, they have two people marking. Tete. Cross into the box. Jimenez. I'm trying to think. I think he got a head on it, but it just went wide. Let's see how this happens again. I'm checking this out on top of the screen. Great job, Josh King. Tied it. Jimenez does get a head on it. It's just not enough. I think it was just too much. And Jimenez is just like, ah! And I don't blame him one bit. And I'm sorry, fantasy people. Harry Wilson is going out for Traore. And Jimenez is coming off as well. I'm Smith. All right, Kisei Sorry is coming in as well. This is one of those things you're trying to save it, but you're at the same time you want the points. Kisei Sorry, Josh King can't have there. You can't just bunch up in the middle. Force now on the break. Luckily, Fulham does a great job dealing with it. Just can't maintain possession. These are the times you just gotta. Okay. All right. All subs are in. Each team, one sub left. King. Josh King, I know he wants. I know he wants that first goal. Tom Carney. That's why he's on the pitch. He's able to maintain possession. There's been no goals in this half. No, I mean a little bit of stoppage, but I can't see anything maybe more than 4 minutes of stoppage time. Chinko, cross, dealt with by Fulham. Kisei Asari has it. You're trying to find someone on the left. Tom Carney. Back to Kisei Asari. Traore. I know you want to hold, but I need you to score. I need you to go, attempt a shot on goal. Diop gets out to Kisei Asari. Actually, great pass. Kisei Asari. Getting into the box. Kisei Asari. Still maintaining possession. He had it way too long. I get it. We're in the 90th minute, but I need Tom Carney. Great job. But also, bad pass. Forced. Trying to get on the break. Anthony Robinson had. It's going to let run. And sadly, Robinson gives up a corner. They're talking for 6. I don't know if we're good. I don't think it's that much, but we'll see. Corner. Leno gets it. Yeah, they're calling for 6 minutes. 6 minutes of stoppage time. 40 views today. We have a couple of viewers. Thank you very much. For those joining late, this is Jonas Brasco. This is Up the Fulham. With a really, really tight match here. Fulham's up 1-0 on Forest via a Raul Jimenez penalty in stoppage time in the first half. Besides that, you have not missed much. It was a cross, but it went straight to the keeper. Leno grabs it, goes down, just kills a little bit of time. And with that, the final change is in for Forest. And with that, Force has used all their substitutions. Tete, again, no whistle. 93rd minute. Fulham 2. I wish Fulham 2. I need to. I really have been this entire time. 2 goals. I just. That's what constantly has to happen. Mm-hmm. Fulham just trying to get it out. Josh King maintaining possession. Josh King trying to find someone. Josh King is taken out. No foul. Forrest maintaining possession. Forrest is chasing this game. Forrest needs the point. And Robinson knocks it out of bounds. And they're Anderson gets a yellow. Stay back. Stay back. Anderson, stay back. All right, I want to know what that yellow was for. I think there's been 8 cards. Jenko gets it back. Robinson, great header. Anderson, big boot. Tete, unfortunately, heads it to Hutchinson. Hutchinson to the outside. Cross into the box. Anderson deals with it well. Kusei Sare maintains possession. He was thinking Carney was going to run. Carney does not. Force gets it back. 95th minute. Fulham 1. Force nil. Again, 43 views. Thank you for hopping in. Even if you're not staying, this is what you've missed so far. Kevin draws the penalty for Fulham. Fulham has their first penalty of the entire season. Jimenez nails it, and he is 11 for 11 on penalties. Beyond that, lots and lots of fouls. Anderson with the foul on Josh King. And there's another card. Mm. And the whistle has gone off. Wow. And that is all she wrote. And wow, the manager is just rushing off. He is like, screw you guys, I am going home. That was just not even. Sean Dice is like, screw that, I'm out. I don't even know how to explain. This was just not. This was a miserable game. I'm glad that we got the 3 points, but this game was just. It was bad. A win is a win, yes. A win is a win. I'm glad they got the win, but man, this was a bad game. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. It was just I'm glad that Fulham won. Don't even I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. I'm so glad that Fulham won this game. But wow, this was oh, it was just bad. I mean, this was an ugly, ugly Fulham win. And what I mean by ugly, I'm talking. I've seen full. I mean, I can say this. I've literally seen Fulham games where Fulham has played just as ugly as Forest and lose. Because I'm not going to sit here and say Forest was the better side, because I don't believe that whatsoever. But I'm just checking out these stats. Forest had more shots on goal, more shots. They committed more fouls. They got more corners, and they actually forced Leno to two saves. Like it literally was that Forest was the. I mean, and of course they're talking about you know they're talking about Afcon and how that went, and absolutely that's a deal. But at the same time, Forest had players at Afcon too. This is not a this is not like this was both of these teams were coming in like Fulham had an advantage or Forest had an advantage. Granted, I'm not gonna lie, Forest had quite a few injuries. I'm not gonna take anything away from that, but you play with what you could play with, especially with Forest still trying to, there were still they still had strikers. They still had people that could do something. I'm not gonna lie. I know that Chris Wood injury is probably their biggest loss right now. But going into the holidays, Fulham at 23 points because of goal differential. They got the same total as Brentford, but Brentford's plus. Brentford's -1 goal differential. Newcastle's +1, but all three of them in that middle of the pitch, in the middle of the tape, kind of that middle between the top and the second half. Newcastle 11th, Brentford 12th, Fulham 13th, all with 23 points. But depending on what happens on the 27th, Fulham can find their way to the top half of the table. Because literally the only thing that separates 13th and 7th right now is goal differential and 3 points. While Forest, they're 5 points away. They're 5 points ahead of the drop zone with West Ham. So Forest is definitely going to be cheering for Fulham to take out West Ham because Forest has a very, very difficult match against Man City. But at least that one will be at home. But at the same time, Forest Forest beat City on March 8th with a 1-0 a 1-0 win over City. And Hudson Odoi had scored in the 83rd minute. So depending I think depending on their health, that's going to be a very very difficult match. But at the same time, as things stand, Forest is. I mean, City has two people on international duty. Same thing with Forest. But beyond that, let's go to the. We're going to the board. Did Fulham win? Yes, they did. Did any of this stuff happen that I wish would have happened? Absolutely not. I think Kisei Asari, especially what we saw in those last few minutes, could have really, really done something if he would have had the opportunity to start. I'm a Liverpool fan. Yeah, clean sheet, though I can't believe Wilson. I think Wilson will get a couple points, mainly because it was clean sheet. And hey, good on Liverpool fan. Hey, definitely good on you for that win against Tottenham. That was a lot closer than I was thinking that was going to be. But that's what it is you have to find ways to win, and Liverpool has been able to do that. But yeah, I mean the thing is Forrest was rested, but Fulham was there. They didn't have enough creative people. Kevin, I'm not completely sold on you yet, but I'm glad that you drew a penalty. Like you are, I have to admit, you are a difference make. You were the difference maker in this game. Though my man of the match is still going to Kenny Tete. Tete was a stud in the back. And now we have, and now we're going to end the year against West Ham. That's going to be after this game. I can honestly say I am not making any type of. Yeah, I'm not making any type of predictions on that one. The only good thing is, yes, West Ham is going to have also have two people on international duty with Bisaka and Diouf, both playing for their respective countries. But I mean, they're healthy for the most part, so I like to think that West Ham is definitely going to be playing with a main. They're going to be playing hard. West Ham is going to be playing hard because they know that their season is on the line early. They don't have that 20-point threshold, but 3 points here will at least get them within striking distance of Force. And with their game against Force's game against Man City, this may be a really good opportunity for West Ham to get something out of this. Ah, Egypt. Of course, Egypt came back. No one was going to let that happen. No one was going to let that happen. I'd be lying if I said I did not want to see that happen because I absolutely did. But there were no surprise. I'm not surprised by any means. but that's okay. Definitely big ups. I said that's why he's there. It's like you there's those games. It's like you have to be able to win, and he did it. But Fulham, I mean, there literally is the West Ham game, and then we start to get those runbacks. Except on the fourth, and I know this, and hopefully, if nothing else, I will see you on the fourth, or I may not, because of course I'm sure there's plenty of live reactors and watch alongs for Liverpool, but that should be a fun game. Liverpool Fulham should be a fun game, especially since this one is going to be at Craven Cottage. And with Fulham winning the last one, and then last year Liverpool drawing. Like, for what it's worth, since they've honestly beat 2-2, with Liverpool winning two games in 2024, and Fulham getting one as well. Oh, sorry, I thought they got another win. My bad. There we go. I had to make a switch. But still, April 6th, 3-2. And it will depend on what's happening in the cup, because I don't think Salah will be back before then. So that's going to be an interesting game. That's all I can say, is that should be an interesting game on the 4th between Fulham and Liverpool. But yes, next games we got West Ham, Crystal Palace, and then Liverpool. It's like Liverpool Fulham's defense is what scares me, not the attack. I don't see how we score against you. Reckon it'll be a nil-nil draw. Oh no, I goals will be scored. That's one thing. If anyone who watches Fulham enough, we do not draw. Like, the only team that has fewer draws than Fulham right now is Manchester City with one. Liverpool has two draws as well, but same with Fulham. Fulham does not draw. It literally is, you either win or you lose. Fulham has 7 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws. Like, I am not seeing that happen right now. But it really is depending on what happens in Afcon, and also depending on, I think you also are, for attack wise, I think you are in better condition. Because Salah is your only international player out. And I think Dominic will be back in time for the Fulham game, because I know he got a red card recently. And I feel like you're going to get a few players back at the beginning of January, so I think you're going to be okay. I mean, you saw it yourself if you're watching the game. Jimenez, like, that's our main striker, and he really couldn't do much. Like, that's one of the reasons I had said, I don't necessarily support any. I mean, I support the Fulham players, and of course, naturally, I want Nigeria to do well, in the aspect of that. I want our Fulham players to come back ready to play and to go. I mean, I know there's some teams that are like, they want they want their players eliminated in the group stage so they can get back to the Premier League quicker. But since all three Fulham players are from Nigeria, I have to cheer for Nigeria, not so much to win as much as that I want good performances from all three of them because I know that the better they do internationally, they're going to come back. I feel like they'll come back with a vengeance, a little bit more hunger, some ideas of things to try that they were able to do with their own team that they can't do necessarily with Fulham. So I'm hoping, if nothing else, Nigeria has a good performance, especially since they will not be in the World Cup. They did not qualify. And I think Iwobi, Chukwueze, and Calvin Bassey, all three of them play for Nigeria. So the thing is, it's not so much win or lose, it's as much as it is. I want them to feel good coming back. I sure in heck want them healthy. I definitely want them back and I want them healthy. But at the same time, those are easily three of our best players. And we don't have anyone who can replace them right now. And I know that, and I don't know how Liverpool's transfer window situation is, but with Fulham, we have been looking at the transfer window since October. So that's why it's for us, it's really important to get the 3 points at West Ham. That'll put us at 26. That'll put us, I mean, we'll be mid table. Like 26 points, depending on all the other stuff that happens, that will put us mid table. And it's like no one is breaking away from the league. I mean, you're talking about going into Boxing Day. You're already more than halfway through the season, and well, you're about halfway through the season, and your league leader only has 39 points. So I'm not so much worried about how they perform in AFCON as much as, I mean, like cheering for anyone per se. It's more or less I want them to play with confidence and come back with the confidence. And I want them to come back healthy. We want Semenyo. Okay, I hope. I definitely wish you the best of luck on that. I I'm trying my best not to even go into the whole rumor thing. I definitely want Polina back. Like he's not getting time at Chelsea, so I'm like, no, not Chelsea, but Spurs. I'm like, get him on loan, bring him back. Beyond that, I don't really know what we do in the transfer window. We definitely need another striker. I like our back line, but we need another striker and we need a younger midfielder. Harry Wilson, Emil Smith Rowe, they're all great, but again, Fulham is one of the older teams in the league at this time. So I can't. I mean, especially if your main striker, is 34 years old. Your main striker is 34 years old. You know what? I'm not good. I don't disagree with that. I just don't know how he would have fit in. But at the same time, where Emil Smith Rowe was playing, I could see Harvey Elliott in that position. In like that attacking midfielder role. But I do know this. So as far as I'm looking at fantasy, because it was a clean sheet, yes, Harry Wilson's only gonna get 2 points. Because Kevin drew the penalty, Kevin's gonna get six. Kevin's gonna get 6 points. Anthony Robinson's gonna get eight. Leno's gonna get six. Anderson's gonna get seven. Tete six. All the back line is all gonna get at least 5 points. All right, I definitely respect that. Again, I figured if he was going to be put, if he was going to come into Fulham, like that's probably where I would see him playing is the in the attacking midfield role. But believe me, if he, I could easily, yeah, I can put him on the left wing. Like, I definitely would put like to replace Kevin. Yeah, I will definitely put Harvey Elliott on that on that left wing. But this has been a fun stream. I want to thank everyone who was here and hung out. Again, we'll be back on the 27th for West Ham. And that one will be at London Stadium. And that should be a good match. In fact, all the I mean, I feel weird saying this, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm frustrated that the only Boxing Day match is Man United and Newcastle. But to be fair, with the exception of Liverpool and Wolves, the rest of the matches actually seem interesting. Forest City, sorry, Liverpool, Wolves, Forest City, those wins are given. I agree. I hope you have a good one as well. I know you guys' match is at the same time. So if there isn't a Liverpool person, definitely stop in. You can also let some other people know that hey, there is a Fulham guy that does this. But once again, Raul Jimenez gets one for Fulham, 1-0. Story of this evening. Thanks again for everyone who joined in. Take care.